What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, guys, I'm going to be talking about Manchester United's last game that we went and played, Crystal Palace, away from home, guys. So let's just get straight into today's video. So we made two changes from the last game against Southampton, talking about the starting 11. So we started with De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Fosu Mensah, McTominay, Pogba, Greenwood, Fernandes, Rashford and Martial. Getting into the overall reaction now. Man United boost Champions League hopes with win. Rashford and Martial are on fire. Not the greatest performance, but a win is a win. Great game. I will take that any day of the week. Too easy. Still unbeaten. Win done. 3 points done. Clean sheet done. Just before I start today's video, guys, I just want to say that this video will not be fully edited because United have pretty much got a game in the next 3 days, so I won't have enough time to edit this video, so apologies for that, guys. Anyway, guys, let's just get straight into today's video. What did I make of the performance? It was another one of those performances where we've started the game really slow. We've come out, we've let Crystal Palace play with lots of energy, play with high intensity, high tempo. They played with a lot of intent. They had some very good players up front with the likes of Zaha and Ayew, and they really pushed us back. They got us on the back foot. United had to defend. We just, once again, we started off slow. I think the first 15-20 minutes we just didn't know what to do with when Crystal Palace came on the counter-attack. They created loads of chances, and United, we did well defensively, but there was times in the defence where it was a bit woeful. We could have done better in and stuff like that. But I think if you look at the performance as a whole, it was a good performance, but it was just one of them where it was not one of the greatest performances. But there's games where United have, where we've not started the game well. We've not really. We've come lucky to win the game, and that's what you need sometimes in football. You may have to win games ugly, you may get lucky, which we did as well in this game, but there's games where you've got to sort of grind out and see out games a bit ugly as well, and we had to do that against Crystal Palace because we knew it wasn't the greatest performance, but like I said then, a win is a win at the end of the day. And it was a good game. It was a must-win game after drawing to Southampton. So it was all about the reaction from the players. We had to win this game to get back, up fighting for a Champions League spot. And now that Leicester have got beat by Tottenham now, which puts us in a great position now to go and beat West Ham. But I think this performance was not one of the greatest performances, but a win is a win. But you've got to sometimes win ugly, and sometimes you need luck on your side. And we definitely had both of them. We won the game ugly, and we got lucky as well in the game. But that's what you've got to do sometimes in football. You've got to win games ugly, and we did that really well. First half, we were not that great. I mean, they came on the front foot. They pressed us, they put us back, and they got us on the back foot. United, we defended really well. We kept our shape, we stayed organised. But what I like about Manchester United is where Crystal Palace were coming onto us, they're coming onto us. But what I like about United is, in the second half, what United are really good at is where United are really good at coming back into the game, and what they do is they let Crystal Palace or their opponents sort of gas out in the first half, because when they've absolutely run the socks off in the first half, they're going to be tired in the second half, and that's what United are really good at. And that just proves in this game that we tired out Crystal Palace in the first half because they were running the socks off in the first half, chasing down for the first goal. And in the second half, we really, had to pull out a result and make sure that we got the win. But like I said, a win is a win, and you sometimes got to win games ugly, and you sometimes got to have luck on your side, and that's what you got to do. And sometimes in football, I mean, in the first half, we were not that great, but even though we were not that great, I was thinking to myself, we need a goal before half time just to, settle down and get into the game and grow into the game. And then in the second half, let's find our rhythm, our momentum, our confidence, and let's just put the game to bed in the second half. And that's what we did. I mean, in the second half, it wasn't one of the best halves again, but I think at the end of the day, like I said, a win is a win. But second half, it was one of them where, they came out really well, but I think in the 60th minute, Palace were gassed out then, they didn't know what to do. United then sort of had more possession of the ball, and we started getting on the front foot, creating chances, and there was chances where we should have scored on, but again, we sort of knew that we had to be. It was also down to the mentality as well, and we needed the mindset there as well. So, you know what? Against Crystal Palace, it wasn't going to be easy, even though they were out of form a bit themselves, and it's the worst run that they've been on. So, at the end of the day, it's good that that with us getting the win against Crystal Palace, we've closed the gap now to Leicester and Chelsea. And you just got to rely on teams around us now to drop points. And can Liverpool pull out a result against Chelsea? I hope they can. But at the end of the day, you've got to look in perspective at the second half. It wasn't one of the greatest halves once again, but we managed to get a second goal. At the end of the day, it was great build-up play. But like again, you've got to win games ugly. And we did that against Crystal Palace. And I'm not disrespect Crystal Palace. They're a great team. We knew it was going to be tough because we were going away from home, and they were going to give us a good fight, good game, and they play with heart, passion, pride themselves. But I think it was just all about we had to really dig deep and had to really find that second goal. And once we got that second goal, take off players and start thinking about the next game really. But you know what? It was an okay performance overall. Wasn't one of the best performances, but like I said, a win is a win. You've got to sometimes win games ugly, and we tried to do that against Southampton. It completely backfired, and but this time we had to. We won the game ugly. We got lucky, and that's what you sometimes need in football, like I just said then. So. It's just all about now, let's just take it one game at a time, let's not get carried away, and let's keep performing game in, game out. We've only got 2 games remaining now, so let's just keep going. It's another win on the board, we got the 3 points, and it's another clean sheet. I think the one player that really stood out in this game, that really kept us in the game, was De Gea, and he put out some fantastic saves. If it wasn't for De Gea, we could have drawn that game or lost that game. So I think De Gea really stepped up to the mark and put on a good performance, and it was needed. And we had to sort of get back to winning ways after drawing to Southampton. And let's just keep going now. 2 games remaining. Let's take it one game at a time. Rashford and Martial once again are hitting it off again. That's 44 goals between them so far this season. Do I think this is their best season in a United shirt? It could be, because I think sharing 44 goals between them is fantastic. And don't forget, these are 2 skillful strikers that we've got in our team that are capable of scoring goals for us. And at the end of the day, these are 2 strikers that that are so skillful, got a lot of pace, and they can really put, the defence on the edge and sort of really push teams to their limit, and really, these are 2 strikers that you need in a Manchester United shirt. They both got a lot of pace up front. They're both skillful. They've got they've sort of got the same similar attributes as well, and I think with Rashford and Martial hitting it off this season, it's fantastic, and with them, with them, with scoring 44 goals between them, 22 goals between them, it's fantastic, and it's. I mean, could it be their best season? It could be, because at the end of the day, I think they didn't score as many last season than this season, so it could be their best season in the United shirt. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about, can we see one of our players taking the golden boot next season as well, and start battling as well with the likes of Aubameyang and Vardy and all those great strikers as well. So at the end of the day, we know that we've got two fantastic strikers in our team, and we just got to keep pushing and keep working, and we've got to just keep scoring goals for fun. But at the end of the day, we've got two fantastic strikers in Rashford and Martial. They're hitting it off once again, and scoring 44 goals between them is fantastic. They've scored more goals than last year, so it's fantastic, and just got to keep going. And I think it could be one of their best season in United shirt so far in their United career. And yeah, I mean, we just got to keep going. They're both fantastic strikers. Rashford sort of plays now more out wide, with Martial as a number 9, playing as a striker now. So they also like to do the interchange as well, Martial and Rashford, and it's also great. And they've got a fantastic link-up play together as well. So you know that they're hitting it off because the interchange is there. They link up well. They link up very well, and you know that we're there. So. With them scoring 44 goals between them, it's fantastic, and they're just going to push on now, and hopefully they can. I mean, there's 2 more games remaining. Hopefully they can get back on a score sheet against West Ham and Leicester, and let's see what happens in the table wise. That's the 4th game United have started the game slow. Why are United started slow recently? Is complacency started to kick in? I mean, it could be complacency, but at the end of the day, I think it's also what it is I think we're not playing with high intensity and high tempo. I think we're saying to each other, we need to start the game quick, bright, and we need a quick and bright start to the game. But that all of a sudden just goes out the window. So I think you do sort of have to start looking at complacency. Is the complacency sort of starting to kick in now to these players? And we're sort of backing off a bit, and we're sort of inviting the other team get onto us. But I mean, the last 4 games that we've started, it's not been us, and we know that because I mean we've just invited the opposition starting the game slow, and we need to stop this because I mean, now that we've lost in the FA Cup against Chelsea, that just goes to show that with those 4 games and with that game last night in the FA Cup, that was not good enough, and that just shows that was coming. So at the end of the day, complacency could be something something that's come into the team and sort of haunted the players. But at the end of the day, we are not starting these games quick, bright, and we're not having a sharp start. What we're doing is as well, in these last couple of games, we really sort of need to get back to the basics a little bit as well. We've not been sharp on the ball. We've not been bright on the ball. The work rate on and off the ball's not been there. The work ethic's not been there. But what we're showing right now is character and fight at the minute. And that against Palace, to have character, fight as well, and to sort of win the game ugly and get lucky in the game as well. I mean, at the end of the day, you're sort of thinking, yeah, that is luck. But I mean, complacency could be the key of why United have started these games slow. But I think it's because I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to let our opposition come onto us, and then when they're tired, we'll get them on the break, and we'll get them on later on in the game. But imagine if you come up against teams like Liverpool, for example, and they have the quick and bright start, and imagine if we're 2-0 down, what on earth do we do? You know, and then with Ollie making changes as well, 2 changes to the team as well, with the likes of McTominay and whoever came on, I can't remember who came on, McTominay and Fosu Mensah. And at the end of the day, he had to bring on Fosu Mensah because we didn't have a fit left back, because Shaw was injured and Williams was injured, so we didn't really have a fit left back. And McTominay has come in, and I mean, players like McTominay and Fred were playing so well before the lockdown, but after the lockdown, when the football is back, they've played rubbish. And I mean, at the end of the day, the last couple of games we've been playing so really well from start to finish, but the last 4 games has not been great. The performances haven't been great, but we've managed to win the games ugly, and we've managed to grind out good results, and we've managed to see out the game. But complacency could be something that could be starting to kick into the team. But this is a warning now. It's a kick up the backside. We've got 2 games remaining, and we need something out of those 2 games. So we cannot be just always turning to, we need to have a quick and bright start to the game against West Ham and Leicester. No matter what, we've got to have a quick and bright start to the game, and we've got to be sharp. And sometimes it could be tiredness as well, because we've been playing games where we've only had a couple of days to prepare. And I mean, going into West Ham now, we've got a rest day being Monday today. We've got a training day tomorrow being Tuesday. And then we've got another game again on Wednesday. And then the players will have a day off on Thursday. They'll train Friday, Saturday. And then they've got another game against Leicester. So it goes to show that it's a tight schedule. But we've got to be ready for these games. No matter what, we've got to be ready. Who is my man of the match? This has to be David De Gea, because at the end of the day, without David De Gea in this game, I mean, we could have drawn or lost that game at the end of the day. So I think my man of the match was De Gea. Played fantastically well. He made some crucial saves for us. De Gea is my man of the match. Unfortunately, he kept us in the game. How do we beat West Ham? So obviously we've got West Ham in our next fixture. Now, I'd love to beat West Ham on one condition. And who do we know who's their manager right now? It's David Moyes. Now, it's the return of David Moyes. He's coming back to Old Trafford. I think we've got to sort of give him a lesson now of what he did to our club a few years ago. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we've obviously got West Ham in our next fixture. I mean, West Ham have been a team this season where they've been so up and down. I mean, they had to get rid of Manuel Pellegrini. They were not doing that great. They were in a bit of a relegation battle. They were so far down the table, it was a joke. And I mean, with players with the likes of Felipe Anderson, Lanzini, Mark Noble, all those players, and you're thinking, Jesus, with those great, good players that you've got in that squad, and you're in a relegation battle, it was embarrassing for West Ham. But you know what? West Ham have been so up and down this season. I mean, they're on a bit of an up spell right now because, well, I don't know, because at the end of the day, it's been a sort of a bit of a poor season for West Ham, if you ask me. So I think this is another game for Manchester United. I think United will be looking to bounce back after the loss to Chelsea in the FA Cup. I think this now really, I don't think it has an effect on our confidence or our momentum, because at the end of the day, we've just got to go into this game with a quick and bright start. No matter what West Ham do, they're going to come to Old Trafford and they're going to think, oh yeah, we should have been having our proper away day at Old Trafford. They're not going to get that away day. There's no fans there, and that's the thing with West Ham. I think with West Ham, they need the fans in stadiums to sort of get them across the line and to win some games. But for West Ham, you know what, up and down this season, they've not been so great. They've had a load of dips, and they've had a lot of ups and downs this season. And I mean, they got a good result against Chelsea. They battered Norwich, so they've just got themselves in for next year in the Premier League, and they got lucky. So hats off to David Moyes. He's done, his job to keep them up for next season. And I think they sort of got to keep David Moyes next season, because at the end of the day, they shouldn't have got rid of him last year. They should have kept him, and then they should have just let him rebuild the squad and go again, because what West Ham did of getting rid of him and then getting another manager in was a bit stupid at the end of the day. But I think with West Ham, this is another game for Manchester United. We've got to really have that quick and bright start. I'm going to say it. Get a quick and bright start into this game, boys, because we need to win this game. And I mean, no matter what happens, have a quick and bright start. We need to be sharp on the ball. We need to be quick on the ball. We need to see the character, the pride, the passion, the fight. We need everything from those players. I mean, this is it now. 2 games remaining of the season. You've got to throw it at everything. You have got nothing to lose now, boys. You've got to go for it. This is a game that we have to win. We've got to bounce back. We've got to get back to winning ways. We've got to beat West Ham. And just do not bottle it. Do not bottle it. Do not throw it away. You know, we're in a great position right now. We're 5th in the table. We're on the same points as Leicester. We're on the same goal difference as Leicester. Do not fuck this up. Let's get a win against West Ham, and let's build on it, and let's go and beat Leicester next week in the last game of the season. Let's have a quick and bright start to the game, and let's get that work rate there. We need the character, the fight, the passion, the pride. Got to play for the club, play for the badge. We've got to play with high intensity, high tempo. The transition needs to be there from defence to attack. Play with a lot of fluidity as well. And it's just all about break them down. We know that West Ham, we know we can break down West Ham. They're very easy to break down. They've got the 5th worst defence in the league right now. And I mean, come on. If we cannot beat West Ham, there's something wrong with us. At the end of the day, we've just got to react. And this is just another game to us. But this is about the mentality now. This is about the mentality now. We've got to get the right mindset, the right mentality. And we've just got to prepare well for this game. No matter what, we've got to prepare well for West Ham. They'll come to Old Trafford, they'll give us a game, but get them on the back foot early doors. Let's get this game finished early doors, and let's get the win against West Ham. We have to win against West Ham. We've got no other choice to win this game against West Ham. Give them a game, give them a proper good game, and let's give the fans a good proper game as well. And come on, boys, we've got to win this game against West Ham at the end of the day, and get some low and hard crosses into the box. And that's down to Aaron Wan-Bissaka for that as well. Getting into the goals now. First goal, McTominay passed it to Bruno. Bruno passed it to Martial. Martial passed it to Bruno. Bruno passed it through to Rashford. Rashford controls it, repositions himself and puts Van Aanholt on his arse and slots it for 1-0. Second goal, brilliant play by Rashford. Rashford gets through 2 players, runs, passed it to Bruno. Bruno passed it to Rashford. Rashford puts the ball through to Martial. Martial runs and slots it in bottom right corner for 2-0. Getting into the stats now. Possession for Crystal Palace, it was 40.6%, and for Man United it was 59.4%. With goals for Palace it was 0, and for Man United it was 2. Total shots for Crystal Palace it was 13, and for Man United it was 17. Shots on target for Crystal Palace it was 5, and for Man United it was 5. Shot accuracy for Crystal Palace it was 38.5%. Brilliant. Shots inside the box for Crystal Palace it was 8, and for Man United it was 12. Shots outside the box for Crystal Palace it was 5, and for Man United it was 5. Total passes for Crystal Palace it was 428, and for Man United it was 625. Pass accuracy for Crystal Palace it was 78.5%, and for Man United it was 87.4%. Getting into the substitutions now. Greenwood went off for Lingard. Talk about Greenwood's performance. Clearly not fully fit, wasted United's best chance, and generally sloppy with his decision making, and that he could have done with a rest. McTominay went off for Matic. Talk about McTominay's performance. Poor on the ball in his first league start since Tottenham, and was admonished by Solskjaer for not asking for the ball. Said it all. Nemanja Matic warmed up before half time. Next up, we've got West Ham. West Ham are 15th in the table. Look, at the end of the day, it's all about let's prepare well, mentally and physically. We need the mindset there against West Ham. This is just another game for us. Do not let this go to waste. Let's not fuck this up against West Ham. We've got a great opportunity to go forth. Beat West Ham on Wednesday. We have got our hopes for Champions League football, and I'm confident we can get it. at the end of the day. We've just got to prepare well. It's a mentality thing as well. We've got to be switched on at all times. And let's get the win against West Ham. I can see us beating West Ham at the end of the day. And West Ham are going to be there for the taking. We've got to beat West Ham at the end of the day. West Ham have scored 47 goals so far this season. West Ham have conceded 60 goals so far this season. Wow, that's a lot. West Ham are scoring 1.3 goals per game, and West Ham are conceding 1.7 goals per game, so nearly 2 goals per game. West Ham have the 4th worst defence in the league. That just goes to show. So far in 2020, West Ham have won 5 games, and that was against Bournemouth, Southampton, Chelsea, Norwich and Watford. West Ham have won 10, drawn 7 and lost 19. They have lost to Man City 5-0, Crystal Palace 2-1, Everton 2-0, Newcastle 3-2, Burnley 3-0, Tottenham 3-2, Wolves 2-0, Arsenal 3-1, Palace 2-1, Leicester 2-1, Sheffield 1-0, Leicester 4-1, Liverpool 2-0, Man City 2-0, Liverpool 3-2, Arsenal 1-0, Wolves 2-0, Tottenham 2-0 and Burnley 1-0. 10 of those fixtures are away from home. The last time Man United won against West Ham was on Saturday the 13th of April 2019 and it ended 2-1 to the Reds. The last time Man United lost against West Ham was on Sunday the 22nd of September 2019 and it ended 2-0 to West Ham. That was this season as well. The players to look out for is Cresswell, Balbuena, Anderson, Lanzini, Noble, Fornals, Wilshere, Souček, Antonio, Rice, Yarmolenko, Bowen, Haller and Ajeti. Hope you guys are enjoying the video. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe to my channel if you are new. See you guys in the video in the next couple of days and peace.